Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Antoinette here, and I'm going to do the week 1 of the Divine Feminine, channeling the Divine Feminine, which is being hosted by Eries Witchcraft over at Divination Spirituality on Facebook. And this has been part of the ongoing series of YouTube creators coming together in collaboration with Amethyst Ascension and hosting a month in her Facebook group for those of us that wanted to contribute back to the community. And this is Courtney's. So she has been doing a lot of divine feminine work, or just working with the feminine goddesses and things, even throughout the year. So she's doing like a 13, I can't remember the name of it. I will link it down below, but she's got a series running. So each month she does a different goddess and you can work alongside her. She sets prompts and ways of working. This, however, is on top of that work, given that she's been doing all that in the background because she's just amazing. And this is helping us to channel said divine feminine, which I'm not particularly good at. And I didn't think I'd have many decks, but you can see from the spread around me, I have some. I was quite impressed when I found out what I had, and I've put them down to give you an idea of what you may or may not choose to do. Now, I haven't done anything with this work yet. This is me starting out, because this is where I like to start is, what have I got? What can I do to do this? Because I don't generally work with deity. I wouldn't work with different named deities. I've done that in the past and I've discovered that's not my personal practice. I love hearing about other people's practice when they do it because it fascinates me, but it's not one that really resonates or, hits home at this part of my journey for me. So who knows in the future. So we are on week 1. So this is a digital journal from Amethyst Ascension's Ko-fi shop. It's a free download, or you can donate. I've chosen to donate to this because, it does cost her money to create the artwork and things, and to buy the artwork to put in here. And these are all linked. So everything here will take me to, so this is Amethyst Ascension's page. This would be possibly Eries Witchcraft's page. This is Divine Divination's page, and this would be Eries Witchcraft's YouTube channel. And then these will link me to week 1. So in week 1, I've put the spread in that comes with this. So there were 5 spreads, and I've put it onto here already. So it's here ready and waiting. So I know what the week 1 goes with, and this image and page is already here. And then the next page is for my journaling and my spread. So I've recopied the spread over here so I know what I'm talking about when I put it down, and I can just place my cards and my little bit of write-up about it. And if I want to, I can add a second page. Then we've got week 2, space, week 3, space, week 4, space. So I will add my spreads in, as I say, as I go. And here they are, so I will just copy them and put them onto the pages as I know which one goes where and when. For this, take me back, it must be the pen. The pen takes you back to page 1. Sometimes it's a candle, sometimes it's a pen. So we come back to page 1. Here's my spread. So our questions are, what does divine feminine mean to me? How do I experience this energy? In what way do I suppress this? And how do I manifest these divine feminine traits? This is going to be very interesting because I found February's self-love work a little bit awkward and unnatural. So this one, I'm presuming, is going to come in on the same lines. So what decks did I pull out? The first ones I thought of was the Tantric Dakini Oracle and the Sacred Revolutions Oracle. These two are kind of a married pair. If I'm working with one, I like to work with the other. Although I am currently working with this separately at the moment. But if I'm working with this, it feels like this is the one that reads with it. So it's just a given that these go together. And the Tantric Dakini is this one, which you'll probably recognize, and I've written my card meanings onto this. It's got a majors and suits system in there, so I've got my symbols for my majors and I've got my symbols for the elements, so I know what element we're looking at. And as you see, some have got more words on than others, just depends on what the card and the write-up kind of meant to me. So that's those, and that's how I use it. Then I don't have to go back to the book ever. Because for those who know me, know I do hate relying on books. So the other ones I thought of was these two, artwork by the same person, Annette Perso. This is the Estonian artist, and it's the Candle in the Cave tarot deck, which is out of print. I don't know. I think I thought this one was getting a reprint, but it's this one that's getting a reprint. It's been revamped and reproduced or being in the process of being reproduced. So it's the guidance of the Divine Goddess Oracle. This is probably the only Goddess Oracle I own now. I used to have one from Ethany and I gave it away because I used it for coven work and then it just pointless to me, so I got rid of that one. But the books that she does are really good. And this one, beautiful deck, and it's very folksy artwork. So I may or may not be drawn to these two, but I don't think, having read the questions now, these are quite what I want. I don't think it's these for this particular spread. So I'm going to move them out. Then we've got the Woman in Total Control of Herself Oracle. This is a really powerful oracle. It's the mass market version. It's got a very chunky guidebook, and that is where a lot of the magic happens for this one, for me. It's the wisdom in the guidebook. Very well written. So this is on the maybe bench. The Rooted Woman by Sharon Blakey. I don't know if this is this for me for this one. I've only used it twice, I think, since I've had it. Artwork by Hannah Willow. I don't know. So I don't know if this is quite this spread. This might be one of the other spreads later in the, weeks 2, 3 or 4. The Dark Magic Oracle. This one felt like it could be. Nurture your diverse talents. Find your people. Don't be afraid to move and change. So this one could maybe challenge my perception of what I think the divine feminine awareness within me is. So I'm thinking it's possibly this one. So I'll leave it out because that's one I'm maybe feeling more so than this one. I think it's this one to give myself a proper challenge. The White Witch Oracle by, cannot remember her name, Sally Morningstar. This one's also been named, I've seen it on the internet, as the Wicca Oracle, but then it became the White Witch Oracle. So it's exactly the same cards from what I can see. So this one's a good one, but I think this is more a grounding, earthing one. I don't think this is for finding myself and challenging me. So I don't think we're going for this one. Barbara Walker was the first tarot deck to come into my head. So I think it's this one because she loves to tell you what's going on. But I also did think about the Tower of the Spirit because this one goes deep. This one challenges me on a deeper level than most do. But this one here is also no friendly deck. It's just a very straight talker. So I have a short amount of time, so I'm thinking straight talker. I've already wasted a lot of time. So let me just put you on pause while I shuffle. Okay, so for transparency, whilst I was shuffling, I shuffle and I repeat all the cards to the spread while I'm shuffling. As I was shuffling, 2 cards fell out and then 1 card fell out on question 1 and then question 2. So I've put them here because I do use jumpers. That's for the most part how I work. So they felt like they had to come out. So question 1, what does divine feminine mean to me? So for question 1, I have, bring down slightly. I have the 4 of Wands from the Barbara Walker Tarot and I have Judgment. So we have success and judgment. So I'm going to put those here. Question 2, how do I experience this energy? We had accomplishment with the 9 of Pentacles came out. So far they feel probably about right. So we're going to do the other 2 now. So in what ways do I suppress this? In what ways do I suppress this divine feminine energy? And one's flipped while I'm shuffling. Death to my divine feminine energy. It's not happening. I'm burying it. How do I manifest these divine feminine traits? How do I manifest these divine feminine traits? Again, I've just had 2 flip over in the middle of shuffling. So it should be that way around, shouldn't it? So it's that way and that way. No, it feels like it's that way and that way. I'm going to do that. Ace of Wands and Merlin, Prince of Pentacles. And then the next question is, how do I use a oracle in here? Well, my oracle is what now? So what now? Won't come out my hand, so I'm going to take that one. Dragonfly, there is a deeper meaning, so we're going to need the book for that one, I'm pretty sure. Let's just do that, put that one over there out of the way. So here we have the little white book that comes with the Barbara Walker Tarot. And as usual, I've done my trick where I've added the extra cards so I don't shuffle them in to make a hardback little white book with some sparkly washi tape. So, right, let me take a seat and let's just explore this spread for a little bit, shall we? And let's explore it together. By all means, pop in down below if you think that you see something else in the spread that I'm missing. I'm not going to be too offended as long as you're polite about it. Let's have a look then. So what does divine feminine mean to me? So 4 of Wands. So this to me is celebrating. So this is celebration. This to me, the 4 of Wands is stability, unity. This particular card is clearly unity, often can be representative of a celebration like marriage or, you know, coming together, hand fasting or something like that. So divine feminine to me is definitely something I try to avoid, as in I did everything I could against the establishment to avoid this. I put out as many signals and blocks as I could to any hint that I wanted, a proposal. I didn't need the girly things that everyone else wanted. I don't judge other people who do it. It just wasn't for me. I felt that I don't need to be bagged and tagged to sit within my own sense of who I am. So to me, my divine feminine is me, my essence, my understanding, and my self-worth. I don't need other people's fairy tales to be put onto me to become what society expects me to be. So I feel that's where the judgment card in this sits. And I do feel sometimes that I am judged for not doing this in the way that society expects, rather than judging myself, because I celebrate every day the fact that I haven't walked down the path of norms and, you know, had followed expectation and ended up perhaps in a life path that I don't think I would be as comfortable or as happy or as fulfilled as I am now. So I'm very happy with my choices, and so is my partner. Actually, we've been together 30 plus years now, come up to 31 years. So that says something. So we are in the right path. So that's that. I don't know if that quite explains the divine feminine there in that question to you lot, but that it makes sense to me internally. Like I can feel the essence of that, and know that that is speaking to me running down the correct path and embracing and holding on to my sense of identity and person and sovereignty, and not giving it away to other people, I think. Yeah. And that would make sense, especially given that I don't do, as I said, I don't do deity work, so I don't quite have the same understanding. I think when people talk about deity work, they also come at this from a very different angle sometimes. So that's interesting. I find that quite interesting. I knew when they flew out that I was to keep those, not replace them. So how do I experience this energy? And here we have it, accomplishment. So yeah, I experience the divine feminine in me through the accomplishment, and not this, but the fertility that comes through accomplishment, through being able to have time to do, to complete, to be healthy, to be happy, to explore, to learn, to draw my narrative, yes, and to in many ways be a little bit selfish, but also to be able to sit back in everything that we have accomplished as a pair together. In some ways, that creativity, that fertility, that material aspect of life gives me a divine feminine sense, because again, it's something that a different life path would have meant that we couldn't have created together. So we both feel that we're very lucky with where we've managed to place ourselves at this point in time. So yeah. In what ways do I suppress my divine feminine energy? However, death, so transformation. It doesn't feel like it's a transformation in this one. So let's just see what Barbara Walker says about this one. I'm not quite sure. So it's not just your standard little white book. She does give a bit more information in these. Sorry if that made you feel sick. So the classic Grim Reaper, a skeleton with the scythe, is mowing a field of human heads. Grim used to mean a mask. The masked and costumed death figure, also called macabre, performed the danse macabre as a stock character in the medieval mystery plays. His tarot card was often labelled due to superstitious beliefs that to speak or write death's name was to invoke him. His unlucky number 13 refers to the last lunar month, which leads to a new cycle of rebirth. His card means an ending, to lead another beginning, leading to another beginning, transformation, change, or destruction. In what ways do I suppress this divine feminine energy? I mean, if I was to choose the darkest word in that sentence, destruction, am I suppressing my own expectation of divine feminine energy from societal pressure by destroying the expectation, by destroying what's expected of me and being me? Or am I, because of my point in life, moving into the autumn era or the crone era of life, am I managing to get to that part of my life? So the transformation is occurring within, and therefore that suppresses that thing of divine feminine energy. I suppose in a way now this is just pulling home, this is chatting through with the screen, this is bringing home the fact that in some ways, to me, a divine feminine energy seems to lead towards the womb aspect of life and the cycle of life and, giving birth, having babies, creating life within the body and delivering it out into the world and then having to nurture and bring up and so on and so forth. So I am in many aspects completely cutting against the grain by not doing that. Yay, go me! Woohoo! How do I manifest these divine feminine traits? Ace of Wands and Merlin, Prince of Pentacles. So we have power. So the power is mine, right? So by I think I'm the first person in my family to do this. So by being the first in a not material world, is it spiritual? By understanding my passions for life and running with my dreams, my aspirations, my wants, my desires. And Merlin could be my partner here if I wanted them to be, Prince of Pentacles. But together we create, we design, we bring in what we want. It's not just a one-way street. It is it's always a two-way conversation. As much as I jest and I straight talk and I, make it sound like I'm a cold, callous person, it's never that really. There's always a two-way conversation, because that's what I believe in. At the end of the day, I do believe in two-way conversations. Once I've calmed down, I will have a two-way conversation with you from a very sensible space. But Merlin is protected by the pentacle. The Princess Ankh, the wizard, calls up the spirit of the red dragon, a symbol of Wales. Merlin, who was said to have been fathered by the Welsh god on a human virgin, through Christian interpreters of the myth, claimed that his father was the devil. As a pagan saviour, he was buried by Nimu in a crystal cave, or perhaps a hollow oak, to await his second coming. His card represents patience and determination in solving mysteries, fearless following of clues, investigation of original beginnings. So how do I manifest the divine feminine traits? Yeah, I guess with the investigation of original beginnings, that conversation does come through. Like, there have been regular points in our lives that, you know, you have to sit down and you have to have an honest conversation with the other person and check in that you're both on the same page, make sure you're both heading down the right pathway for your life, so that there's not going to be any animosity between us, and making sure that my wants, beliefs, desires are the same as my partner's wants, beliefs, desires, and vice versa. And of course, when they change, there has to be a discussion, and luckily for me, there hasn't been change and there hasn't had to be a discussion. But I always leave it on the table that it's possible to discuss this with me. And, you know, up to a certain point in our lifetime, there's always that opportunity to, if you feel this isn't right, that you can go off and have your family and you can go away and I can continue my path being whom I have become, whom I have created, who I am comfortable with, and how I am comfortable, because the other option really isn't comfortable for me, really not comfortable for me. So I have to be very comfortable in my choices, by choosing how I've become to be, and how I have designed my life, and how I have, I suppose, even created, you know, the circles of people I talk to, hang out with, even down to that, it does alter your dynamics in life as well. Being very comfortable in the fact that I have the strength to have followed and understood what that inert lacking in my core was, the fact that I do not have a motherly bone in my body. And no, I'm not going to use a person that can be impregnated and produce a baby. I'm going to use the word mother for this, because we're talking about divine feminine. And yeah, still designing my future, really. So let's take a look at Dragonfly, because I think I've probably gone on far more than I needed to, probably far more in depth and laboured a point here. Dragonfly, let's find Dragonfly. So I'm just going to copy these and pop them into my journal and then write up after I read, you know, listen back to what this is. Card 36, it's not in alphabetical. 36, Dragonfly. There is a deeper meaning, as we can see. Perches on the person's finger as they gaze unsurely upon it, drawn to its prehistoric beauty, but still hesitant, as alluring as it is. Dragonflies are ancient insects that have roamed our planets for more than 300 million, I did not know that, 300 million years. When the dragonfly appears, it's a reminder that part of you is timeless, and while the true nature of existence is something, it's quite a lot to read, it's something that may not feel important right now, you're stepping into an understanding of the deeper meaning of life. Dragonflies spend only a fraction of their brief lives as dragonflies. They spend most of their lives as nymphs. They represent rapid change and can indicate great highs. You may have recently experienced a newfound freedom or boost that is exhilarating. This card encourages you to be fully present, anchored, and grateful in the moment, to enjoy it as much as possible. Doesn't that just kind of go? I think that goes. Even though changes can feel disruptive, they will be for the better. Either a transformation is coming, or you're in the middle of it right now, or you're emerging from it. Yes, I would say I'm emerging or coming to the end of that perimenopausal age and moving into the menopausal age. So there's a transformation. There's a transformation happening, whether I want it or not. This is happening. If you're feeling confronted, it's okay. This will pass, and you will have some major insight into the creative nature of your body and soul. Consider that a dragonfly can fly sideways, stop in midair, hover, and even fly backwards, almost faster than the human eye can follow. When this card is drawn, you are being reminded to cultivate your adaptability. We think of speed as being something as fast as TikTok's video stream, but nature will always be more amazing than all of what humans can create, even in this looming age of AI. The key to remaining relevant in life's scheme is to never forget your ancient natural roots. The jars of red liquid in the image echo the life-sustaining blood in our veins. They hold gifts of flowers, herbs, and snakes, representing the procreative forces of life. Isn't that just relevant? That is a very relevant sentence. When a female draws this card, it relates to her menstrual cycles and the gift of creation embodied in her divine human form, which is a natural and sacred expression of what is to be human. Okay, right, so I think I was on the right lines. And there's the card that's spitting it out to me. This relates to emotional and mental maturity, a path towards understanding and being willing to explore the deeper layers of your life. There's so much more going on right now than surface appearances. Don't be afraid to let the light shine in your wings so they glow and lift you up above the mundane. Fly high. So for shadow work, dragonflies are cherished by many different cultures as one of nature's most evocative creatures. They are agile, powerful and fast, such as they are favoured tattoo among warriors and fighters. Given their journey is like butterflies, they live most of their lives as nymphs before sprouting their wings. They represent positive transformation and radical change. The dragonfly sigil magic. Light a blue candle and burn dragon's blood incense. Draw a dragonfly on your body using a pen, paint or waterproof makeup. If you're not a gifted artist, find a drawing in a book and trace it with a stencil paper. Think about embodying a dragonfly's qualities of transformation, strength and adaptability as you state this charm. Dragonfly, I honour thee, your ancient presence inspires me. I'm doing that. I'm so doing that. Okay, Courtney, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this, Aries Witchcraft. I now have a ritual to do tonight. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm glad I picked these decks to work with. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please check out the description box below for all the links to all the places that you need to be. And if you haven't started this one, I really do encourage you to do this. I feel so excited. I feel so excited. And I actually feel a little bit empowered, a little bit emotional, because actually this spread's been very revealing, probably more than I would have generally chatted out across this video. So I apologise. It's been a long one. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.